Well, I don't know what I expected when I sat down to watch The Life and Times of Tim, the complete first season, but it certainly isn't what I got. I'm going to go ahead and say there is definitely an audience for this show out there, and I expect it's actually probably a fairly large audience. I'm not a part of that audience. Life and Times of Tim is kind of like if Butthead from Beavis and Butthead grew up and moved to New York City and inhabited the body of Comedy Central's Dimitri Martin. That would be this show. Tim is basically a screw up, and nothing ever goes right for him, but it's mostly his fault. And it's kind of hard to get into a series where the lead character is pretty much unlikable as he is. He doesn't stand up for himself. He hires a hooker when his girlfriend is out of town with her parents, and gets wrapped up in all sorts of quote zany adventures, none of which are all that zany and most of which revolve around sex and swearing. So if you're a fan of something such as South Park, you'll probably like this show. It actually reminds me more of anything else than Louis C.K.'s failed show on HBO, which the name escapes me of at the moment. But if it was put into an animated form, it's kind of vulgar and kind of crass, and it's just not nearly as funny as it thinks it is. And I can't really say that I'm a gigantic fan of the show based on what I've watched of it on DVD. I imagine it was fairly popular on HBO, as I believe it's coming back for a second season, but it's really just not my cup of tea. That being said, again, I know there's an audience out there for the show, and I'm sure that somebody out there listening to this thinks this is the funniest show on the planet. And I can kind of see why, and I think maybe if I was about 10 years younger, I would probably feel the same way. When I was 19, I probably would have thought this was the funniest show on the planet. But as it stands right now, it's just really not my thing. And the ugly animation style just doesn't do it for me. That kind of lo-fi, barely moving animation that is supposedly groundbreaking and clever, it really just doesn't do it for me. In addition to the two discs that make up the complete first season of The Life and Times of Tim, HBO also gives us Awkward Moments, a collection of 10 animated shorts. So there's a little extra bang for your buck. So, Life and Times of Tim fans, hey, this is a pretty good DVD, but unfortunately I will not be counting myself among you.